WIKV, Iron River, Eagle River, Norway. Now, here's Dr. Larry.
Did you know? Let's go.
You've waited all week.
Every week, we continue to learn how to achieve a better back and ultimately better health.
Live in the WIKV studios, this is Dr. Larry.
Well, thank you. Hey, this is the first time back in the new year, baby. Thank you for hitting the plus capacitor, Jimmy. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Well, as you know, every show builds on the next. Every week, we continue to learn how to achieve a better back and ultimately better health. Now, in case if you missed it, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, last time, which is about 3 weeks ago, we talked about the year in review. It was an important week to be tuned in because we learned and defined about an entire year of shows. Because let's face it, there's some info packed in my Did You Knows. So here it is one more time. Interviews, topics, tips, tricks, and more. Let's try to go for one last score. It's the 2025 final close the door of the show topics I went through. We'll roll through them now. January, I went over why. It's good to know why. It helps us what we may want to buy or try. Even reasons to smile or cry. So knowing why something is or not can help us a lot. And here's a zinger for you. Why doesn't my primary care physician often refer me to a chiropractor? There's a reason, and I answered it. Now, burn on the next show. It's a bit of a hot topic. What happens when you burn a nerve? Does it smell, smoke, or swerve? Is it something you should do for your back because of relentless pain that attacks? Burning nerves, also known as ablation. To do or not to do is the question for you. That was a January show. Next one, last year I did It's the Name Game. You name it. There's a lot of goes into a name, isn't there? Reputation, which involves character, trust, honor, truth, the American way. What we know or don't know about someone or something's name can be a game changer in many areas of life, especially in healthcare. So for that show, I dove deep into names. That is, names of healthcare organizations, some big, some small, some that you may not know at all. And we went over some names. Then another show, Schools in Session. I had two physicians on air last year, just about a year ago now, Dr. Jack Leschke and Dr. Paul Brunding. Dr. Leschke actually moved to OSMS from Aurora. He's a dual board certified neurosurgeon and neurologist, which is a little bit rare. And he likes music, by the way. I guess he's pretty talented at piano. And Dr. Paul Brunding, we went through a brief background of their training, got into technology and techniques as far as their philosophy on patient care as it relates to spine conditions. And then we went over the structure of medical history taking. It sounds like a boring show, but it actually wasn't. It was kind of a fun show. Another one, codes, like sands in the hourglass. So is the code you get to spend with your provider. Do you know the unit of time allowed with your provider? I did a show on that. Another one, should you cram in a Q-tip for earwax and call it good? Or get a professional to take a look at it from your neighborhood. Lori LaFleur was on, practicing audiologist. We talked about earwax. Next, I had on Dr. Michael Tressler right about March. Just talked to him the other day. Two-part interview. He fixed a local lady whose knee had already one bad replacement surgery from a different facility. It was a two-part show. We went over that. And later on, towards spring, to stretch or not to stretch. That is the question when it comes to sciatica. Which is best, to pull on that nerve or give it a rest? Listen up, all you couch potato and slouchers. You aren't getting no vouchers. Because I kicked off the show and eyeball what poor posture is, what it can do to you, and how it can make you feel better, so your spine is not blue if you fix your posture. Later on, in the springtime, mid-spring, healthcare, gimmicks, glitches, and gotcha tests and treatments. And then another show, helping patients make big and small decisions is quite a task. So, how? How do you base your healthcare decisions? Which I guess will kind of tie into what I'm going to do today in just a few minutes. What's your benchmarks and criteria? What is your litmus test? Kind of a phrase I always use for patients. And what is a litmus test, by the way? Understanding litmus is a great way to test and improve your healthcare decisions to make them even better. Then another show, what if? What if a medical event happens in your life? Are you prepared? Maytime, water. We did it. We drink it. We play in it. So when it comes to water, we need to be both crystal clear on this substance that goes far and year. Why? Well, when it comes to water we drink in our soil, the lakes where we have fun or toil, that water and what's in it will be absorbed in us. Therefore, it's good to know if something will give us our intestines a fuss. But there's no way we can become a chemist or a biologist overnight. So thankfully, there are water professionals out there who their entire business revolves around water. And I had Jen Toivonen on to talk about that. Then another show, bowels, intestines, intestinal distress, diarrhea, a serious medical situation in a case because the answer was not easy to trace. In June, why does arthritis grow? Kind of like a little kid question. Why is the sky blue? Why does arthritis go? And another show I did, what is placebo? What they have to do with your overall health. The placebo effect is kind of an interesting discussion to have. I think, this little side comment here, it's actually not part of what I was going to talk about, but I think when it comes to placebo, we all know it exists, and to a certain extent, we're all okay with it. I think patients will tell me sometimes, Dr. Larry, I don't know if it really works, but if I feel like it works, then it works. And I understand that. There's that mental over mindset effect. But placebo, we dug into that in the show. I did a show on Mounjaro. I actually went over some benefits of it and also some downsides of it, and had a patient come on, a local lady, and she had some kidney problems from that. That was fun. I'm going to try to do that more this year. I'm going to try to get on some local people, like patients and stuff, on the air. Maybe I'll make a semi-commitment to you to do that, because that's kind of fun. I got the studio right in my office. I can do a quick recording, and I'll try to earmark that for this year. Hopefully I can get to some of you folks and get you on air and ask you questions. Then I had the CEO of a CBD company, but not just any CBD company, Sterling Professional, Sterling with an I, not an E. And we talked about, cannabis. We talked about it, talked about the federal regulation, how his CBD company has the trace amount of the neurotoxic chemical, I guess you want to say, and why he doesn't have side effects. So that was fun. Then we had another owner, a co-owner of Queen City Running. She was on my show. Paige talked about their new location in Iron Mountain. If you haven't stopped by there, by the way, by all means, get yourself some new sneakers and tell them I sent you. Dr. Larry sent you. They will give you a $20 discount off of their shoes. And so there you go. Yeah, it's right there. Any location, by the way. Appointments. It's kind of a big one. Like sands in the hourglass, so is the time we sit waiting in the doctor's office. How to have a successful appointment, how to be a successful appointment maker in keeping you at your doctor's office and healthcare provider on the same page. Another show, I'm almost done with these, but they're kind of fun to go back over again. Prevention from injuries to your back, spine, ribs, and more. Then we went over medical imaging. Picture says 1,000 words. And when the full picture of your medical image comes back, but it doesn't, what do we do about that? And then the Aspirus nurses, why they're fed up. So we're starting the new year. We'll see what happens. Had some chatter with somebody. Maybe indicated Aspirus would come on, and I can ask them questions, too, about what's cooking. More than happy to. Doors wide open as they. My phone bill's paid. That was a funny Bernie joke. Thanks, Tim. You got a little crack out of that one. So you can always call me. I'm a publicly available person. You can find my office, my phone number. Give me a holler, and we can set something up. Do a little pre-interview and chat, and we'll get you Aspirus on the air. Talk about what their side of the equation was. There was more. However, if you missed any of those shows and want to be more in the know, then log on to my website, drlarryradio.com. Hit the subscribe button, follow the links, listen to any of those shows. They've been uploaded now all year and will continue to be uploaded, which you can listen to at your leisure as a podcast. And here is the final point. If you want to grab some more shows from last year, just remember my website is really near. That was a double plug for my website. Normally I don't do that. Now, beyond that, in addition to the history, last time we learned a simple self-exercise for your lower back. It was another Dr. Larry cool tool, and you can call my office for a freebie reminder just in case you're in need of a retip or a tip up. And so that was last time. Hi, yeah. Now today, we're starting off a little interesting, Tim. Somebody had to move my car, too. Microphone's working, Tim. Everything's going. Tim's smiling. He's back in the saddle. Ready to buckle up the chin straps? That's a football reference. Tighten up the chin straps. There we go. Yeah. Okay. And this is a show for all of us. It's coming up. We'll forget that monologue for a moment and keep remembering those mandatory communication skills all doctors must have, which are inquisitive listening and staying positive. Again, it often means the difference between sick and well. Also, it's another month of the year, so let's keep our knees in gear. So in our tip and trick segment today, we're going to learn a simple self-test for torn meniscus in the knee. And I'll use my bad one so Tim can have an easy one with us on that one. And if, of course, you snap into a Tim are calling it out right from the broadcast booth while we crank up the tunes, I hit the center stage for the demo. However, before all that, in order to have good health, you don't need a lot of wealth. So let's flex our forebrain and put some knowledge at the game, because today we're going to talk about, hit it, Pearl.
Dr. Larry brings you another segment of Did You Know?
Truth. We say we want truth. And the truth helps and heals, but also hurts, doesn't it? So if you like to be told the truth, then stick around. Because for today's show, I'm going to give you the truth on a few subjects, and it will help a lot of you, but it also may hurt. And that's okay. However, if you can't handle the truth, if you can't handle being hurt by some truths, and you are easily offended, or you believe you have all the truth you need, then maybe today is not the show for you. And that's okay. I do different shows every week. But for the rest that remain, stick around. You are going to get a few truths to help you in 2026 when we get back from the break. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Larry Radio Show.
Dr. Larry will be back in a moment.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized to you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situations change? When you work with Ryan O'Grady, your Crystal Falls Edward Jones financial advisor, he focuses on what's important to you. You'll work together and use an established process to create a personalized financial strategy, backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And you can partner long-term to help your strategy stay on track. Contact Ryan today at 906-875-3833. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Jackie from Vulcan, Michigan, and you're listening to Dr. Larry Radio.
Breaks over. Time to get cracking once again with Dr. Larry.
Welcome back from that short break. And short on commercials. How about that? That's fun. Truth. We say we want truth. And the truth helps and heals. You've heard the saying, the truth shall set you free. But also, truth hurts. So, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Just can you handle it? Can we all handle it? So let's start. Again, this is the first one of 2026. Laying a little foundation here, a little premise. What truth is and what truthful means. So, truth is two ways to look at it. Objective truth, what exists and can be proved. And then you have subjective truth, which is the lens and how an individual sees something. I guess it would be their truth, right? For the sake of simplicity, I like the objective proof. What can be proved. That's always where I'm trying to aim. Now, sometimes you got to get through some murkiness. Sometimes you got to get through opinions. And sometimes you got to clear the chatter out of our own brains so we can actually start to hear the truth. Because then from there, once we have it or we're told it, we can make an honest decision and move forward on something. So truth, fact, all of it kind of ties together, and we're going to dive into this. Then there's a subjective truth, like I said, too, which is still not bad. It's not bad. It's just a little less subjective. And so you'll kind of hear me mix the two a little bit, but I'll try to be as objective as I can when it goes to truth. So, like I said before the break, tighten up the chin straps. If you're hanging out with me, that means you want it. If you ditch, that means you don't want it, and that's cool with me too. Remember, you didn't ask. I am just giving it to you. If it was a conversation, I guess is what we're having right now, you know it's coming. Here it goes. Diet and exercise. Truth number one. Most of you will fail at maintaining a good diet and exercise routine for this year. Definitely a lot of you will fail for 2 years, and most certainly for 5 years, 10 years or more. You will fail. You will also fail on multiple levels. Your definition of a good diet is skewed. You will chase after yo-yo diet plans. you will blame it on some type of circumstance, and you will believe your excuses as truth as to why you don't. That's fact. It happens. Your definition of proper exercise is wrong. Number one, you will start but can't sustain. You will get bored. You won't see results. You might get injured. You don't know what proper exercise even is. Another one, you make achievements in proper diet and exercise more complex than they need to be and more unsustainable than it needs to be. Therefore, you just give up. You become complacent and you live your life. And the result is you will develop diseases and or increase injuries as the result of your failure. True. Now, how do I know this? I have the data to prove it. I can back up what I just said. I can tell you that I'm telling you the truth. Now, I got to take the old medicine too. I'm part of the whole equation as well. I just have this little unique situation. I'm in healthcare, chiropractor, so I better do what I'm supposed to do and go against the grain as far as what happens conventionally. But guess what? You also have the data to prove it. I didn't just tell you something you already don't know. It's not hidden. You can find it. Poor diet and lack of exercise equals poor health, and the trend is we fail at maintaining it. That's the truth. Now, coincidentally, I just recently proved this to myself as well. So for the first time in over 20 years, I stopped working out for about 10 weeks. I slacked a bit. I did it intentionally, by the way. At most previously, and I might even stretch 30 years, probably since even high school. I'm 52 years old. So I've always proper diet, exercise, minus some here and there, 2 to 3 weeks off max, but we get right back in the routine. Here's the result. I gained some weight. Yep. Life was still busy, still moving around doing stuff, but literally zero exercise. No walking, no biking, no treadmill, no push-ups, no dumbbells. Everything that I used to do was gone. I eliminated it. And guess what? I liked it. I liked it a lot. My mornings, easier. No workout. I didn't miss it. I didn't think the next day I got to dread because I got to get up and shake it off and I got to do a workout. Now, maybe it's a little bit of winter blues too in there because I do like it more towards the summer. But regardless, it's something I didn't have to fit anymore into my day. So I was rewarded for it. And so are you. We're rewarded for not doing the things we're supposed to do when it comes to diet and exercise. Bag of potato chips, love them. Can knock out a bag of potato chips in a blink of an eye. Kettle cooked. Just name a flavor. It's rewarding. It's salty. Goes good maybe with a beer. I could go, the list is on. Chocolate. Who doesn't love good chocolate? Not just one. You can't just have one chocolate. I mean, it's ridiculous. Please. Candy bar? Who has a half of a candy bar, honestly? Do you have, it melts anyway. Why eat the whole stupid thing? 400 calories right there. A third of the calories you're supposed to have in your diet. All right. Now, did I throw it all away? No. Is this show about me? Nope. It's about the subject matter. I just want to let you know that I lived a little bit of that lifestyle. Now, here's the thing. It was for 10 weeks, roughly. It wasn't for 40 weeks. And it wasn't for 40 weeks times 2, 40 weeks times 5, and 40 weeks times 10. So I didn't fool myself either thinking, okay, I didn't exercise for 40 weeks, but I exercised for 10 out of the 40 weeks, like what happens with the New Year's resolution stuff. So you got the theme of it. That's where I'm going. New Year's resolutions fail. I just said it a different way when it comes to diet and exercise. So I didn't fool myself down the road, and I don't want you to be fooled that working out for 10 weeks in a calendar year is going to get you to where you want to go. In fact, I don't want to fool you that working out for 40 weeks is going to get you where you want to go. Because clearly, I just told you, I started gaining weight. Had a patient the other day pointed out to me, "Oh, you always look decent, Dr. Larry, but you gained a little weight." Yup, I did. Thanks a lot. Rosy cheeks, red face. I knew what I did. I mean, I knew it, but it got pointed out. So the reality is, but I didn't shy away from the truth. I was like, she's right. I gained weight. And so will you if you do the things that fail. So knowing this, and the by the way, the mental and physical reward of decreased exercise and the slack of diet, it's all there. And you think about it maybe a little bit after you discontinued it. You kind of go back to it. I probably should maybe dabble a little bit. So I'm already into by the way, April, May for you right now. June, July, August, October, November. I'm already into that. I've raced 2026 for you. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to slow it down though. Hang on there. So here it is. So you know that we fail at this, and what do you need to do? And you know the consequences of it. That if you're only good for a little while, and go back to your old habits when it comes to diet and exercise, the net change just ain't going to be there. I don't often talk about this stuff inside my office, but it's a thing that's always being talked about inside my family. I always say I'm a blue-collar chiropractor, bone and joint guy, and also diagnose and figure out problems. That's kind of like my main theme as far as patient care goes, and generally speaking, the main theme of all my shows here as well, too. But it's that time of year, and I know it's on your minds because you talk to me about it. As a practitioner, I hear a lot of it. Dr. Larry, I can't lose weight. I try to go this, that, and the other. What about this diet? 24 years of doing chiropractic, the diet thing. I mean, you got the Beachbody diet. You've got Mediterranean diet. I had somebody bring up, which, by the way, some of these are, decent as things to follow. Atkins, you just keep going on. I mean, there's a list. If we really roll back the clock and look at that, do a list of the diets that have come and gone, how many of them have a really good shelf life? Not many. And the irony is in all this is very few people ask people who just do things quietly, how do you do what you do? So that's what I'm actually going to give you a truthful answer. How is it that you can maintain a healthy diet and exercise throughout the year after year, and still take some time off? Maintain your high school weight, if you want to say it that way. I mean, we always go back to, I'm the same weight I was in high school. I'm not the same weight I was in high school. Or stay within a 10-pound range, right? My body's breaking down, Dr. Larry. I can't play basketball like I used to. Well, don't play basketball anymore. It doesn't mean you have to stop working out. You got to modify stuff. I mean, I've been making fun of my left knee now for probably a year for patients. Like, guess what? I got to wear knee braces now when I walk. 3 of them, actually. Just to make sure my knee on my left side doesn't start to deteriorate faster, because I don't want a surgery. I'd rather avoid it if I can. So if I was still playing basketball like I was in my 30s, probably would have had a knee replacement by now. So these decisions, these truthful decisions you got to have with yourself. So New Year's resolutions fail. You heard why. I just gave it to you between the lookers, as we say. A balanced diet and moderate exercise lifestyle will keep your weight balanced, and your health will sustain better, and you will feel better. Keep it simple. Make it rewarding. Be consistent. Avoid the rabbit hole of unachievable or short-lived goals. And you can do it if you choose it. I'm telling you can. I know that you can. It's just a choice to. Now, I'm going to give you some basic parameters to help you find out. I'm not going to give you the do this or else kind of thing. This is just the basic parameters. Honestly, if you just do this 50 weeks out of the year, 48 weeks out of the year, and by the way, when I say weeks, I don't mean like, the Packers game's coming up on Saturday night. You better believe I'm having jalapeno poppers and a beer on Saturday night probably, okay? I mean, and chips and whatever it is you want. Hot wings, I don't care. If you eat 3 balanced meals a day, protein, carb, and fat, 1 to 2 mini stacks that are protein-based, maybe like a mini packet of pistachios to get that crunch, they're about 100 calories. Make one of your meals a big one, because we all like well, that's the guys. The guys like that. We want to have a meal, and then you get full. And then the other ones aren't as big. For the ladies, you got your own criteria there. So if you like 3 balanced meals a day and my 1 to 2 little mini stacks, my little Yoplait yogurt, fine. I'm not making fun of your voice, by the way. That's just the way for me to differentiate between ladies and guys. Okay, so you're the guys. Okay, so and I'm smiling the whole time. By the way, this is it. Tim's laughing a little bit too. This is easy, even though I was trying to weed out some here. If you're hanging with me, this is just kind of a big smile show. But I want you to be successful. I do when it comes to diet and exercise. I want you to be healthy. Okay, exercise. 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times per week. Put it into your routine. Mix up strength, flexibility, and stamina. I've gone over this stuff with you. I don't oftentimes get a chance to go over it in clinic because it's not really what comes up. And do seasonal switch ups. Keep the routines fun. You know, to me, winter's boring. I don't like winter as much as I like spring, summer, fall. Okay, but there's some crazies out there, you know, you like to get out in the cold, bundle up and, you know, get out there and ski and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, insanely crazy. That's it. Insanely okay. So you have your winter stuff. Maybe you don't like summer as much, but do a seasonal switch up. Seems like every few years for winter workouts, that's the biggest challenge. And so throughout the years, what I noticed, my wife is really good at this stuff, is she'll keep it kind of like refreshed for us. So sometimes we'll maybe buy some new bands, buy some dumbbells, walking pads, treadmill, you know, stationary bike trainer. It keeps things refreshed and keeps you motivated. This year, I'm going to tell you what we bought. A rebounder, aka a trampoline, a mini trampoline for inside. Now, don't laugh. Don't laugh. It's actually horribly fun. It's a blast. It's my wife's idea. She bought it with her grocery budget. She makes that grocery budget. And we're still eating, by the way. But she pulled it out of her grocery budget, and we didn't get this rebounder. So I knew we were going to start that once I got my head back into the game again and get back to the old ways of Dr. Larry, getting the diet and exercise back in order again. And the rebounder is fun. So start Googling this, look this up. I mean, if you're kind of stale, bored, you're just that kind of person, it doesn't mean you're going to do the rebounding forever, but you'll see these people that have been doing rebounding for a long time or mini trampoline. It has a tremendous amount of benefits. I want to go over some of those with you too. I'm going to shift gears here in just a minute, but let's go over some benefits of rebounding exercise. And it's great, by the way, too. Like I mentioned, if you got kind of a bad knee or even knee replacements, this isn't like high impact cardiovascular. This is really easy on your joints. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. All right, cardiovascular and circulatory. Rebounding or mini trampolining strengthens your heart. It improves your circulation, increase oxygen flow, and boosts your metabolism. Boom, you're going to start burning calories. Joint and bone health. Low impact exercises like rebounding that protects your joints, okay, the bounce, because you're not like slamming into. I used to love to jump rope. Can't do it anymore. Not going to happen. It's too hard. Bangs up the heels, bangs up the ankle, hits my knee. I love the jump rope. And you know, the whole like, you know, boxer thing where you have it going between your legs, all that kind of, oh yeah, Tim's got it. Because it was fun. Can't do it anymore. So what does it mean? I quit working out and all of a sudden I come up with the excuse and then I fail? No, I can't fail. And I don't want you to fail. So here he is. I'm giving you a tool, a rebounder. Joint and bone health. And it's easy because it's lower impact. Gives you muscle and core strength. It works your muscles through your body, from your feet to your neck, strengthens your deep core and pelvic muscles, your floor muscles, and improves your posture and stability. Funny thing is, when you're on a trampoline and you're a few feet off the ground and you're bouncing, you got to have good posture. Otherwise, you're falling off the stupid thing. So that does have little handles, by the way, too. So you can hold on to handles. You can look this stuff up. This is where you can YouTube it. Here's an interesting one that I love to talk about because it's so important, but it gets underrated and undervalued. Your lymphatic system. So rebounding as an exercise stimulates your lymphatic drainage, helps flush toxins, bacteria, and waste from the body. Then it improves your digestion. Also, your mental mood, your stress, it decreases your depression, anxiety by releasing endorphins, anything like an exercise would do. But that's what a rebounding does as well. And I'll give a little funny side note too. If you do get one of these and you do it, once you get off of it after you do your routine, try to jump up and down on the floor. Tell me what it feels like. It's pretty funny. You're expecting the floor to bounce and it doesn't. Balance and coordination. So no matter what age you are, as long as you're in reasonable upright condition, not crippled, of course, your balance and coordination starts to diminish as time goes on. Rebounding on a trampoline enhances your balance, your coordination, and motor skills by stimulating your sense of balance in your brain and improves your responsiveness. That's what a new workout can do for you. And also a workout that you can interchange. So now play this out for a year. Let's say you're like, I'm going to give it one of these, and you don't fail at it. You get it 3 times a week for 20 minutes. Let's say 3 to 5 times a week. I just gave you the parameter. Boom, there's your workout. You incorporate somehow some upper body. Maybe you have some arm weights with it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you wear what do they call those, weighted chest vests or something like that. Maybe you don't, but anyway, you get it. Then you transition over into springtime, something you really like to do. Of course, gardening and raking is a good workout, but you don't use that as your workout, and you keep this theme going. Maybe you go back to the rebounding throughout the year, but then you add some of the other things you like to do. You like to walk. A lot of you see my wife and I, we walk quite a bit in the summertime and fall time. We also have bikes. These are some things that you can do too. I would love to see more people out on the paths, on their bikes or walking. It's usually the same crew that I see out there. I know some of you walk on the side roads because you live out in remote areas, but on the path, there's plenty of people on paths between here and Iron River that should be utilized much more. Maybe utilized for that first fresh day of spring. Everybody's out walking, and by the third fresh day, it's by half, and by a month later, there's nobody out there. So, that's my point, is you can switch over to other things and not have to do this rebounding all year round so you get bored with it, but this is something that gets you by. So rebounding, I want to bring that up. It was an oblique thing that my wife bought, and I was like, kind of looked at it, and I was like, I don't know, but I'll try it, and it's worth it. That's what you got to do. You got to past this mental part where you go, I don't want to do it. I'm good how I am. I'll find something else. Find a plan, stick with a plan, and make it moderate within your schedule. You got a Spotify playlist? I love 80s and 90s music. Makes it even more fun. Avoid excessive high impact. Definitely make sure it's strenuous enough to break a sweat as far as whatever you do. And truly, although it requires some effort, it's better if you do and follow a very standard overall diet and exercise eating plan. I didn't say, here's how to get your 6-pack abs. I didn't say how to build 5 pounds of muscle in 5 weeks. You notice I didn't say all that. That's out there. You know what I'm talking about. How to drop 10 pounds in 10 weeks. I'm not going to tell you that. I told you how to maintain and what you need to do as far as 50 weeks out of the year so it's sustainable. And then modifying things year by year as your body changes. I would love to do some of the things I did in my 30s. It's just not reasonable, but still have to work out, still have to follow diet. Also, some of these restrictive diets I see out there that you can't have anything, it's great for the first 12 weeks. And then once you're off of it, you're numb to it. You don't want any more. And you go right back to pizzas and pop, and then you gain all the way back. I mean, this is it. This is what happens. So starting off the year, I want to bust through the fact that New Year's resolutions fail, and I want to say it a different way and help you get something that's a little bit more sustainable, a little more truthful, a lot more truthful, and something that's easier for you. Okay, switch gears now. I got to take a break here in just a second. Truth about hospital care and costs. Hospital care is beyond expensive. It's not easy for you, the average consumer, to recognize or know what to do with these inflated prices when it comes to anything healthcare, which includes services, treatments, and especially pills and products. I mean, some examples. I had a patient who had 2 CT scans of the chest from 2 different hospitals. Hospital A charged insurance $2,800. Hospital B charged insurance $1,400. Same test, same results, same type of scanner. Double. Right? That's like radiation to your wallet. How about x-rays? A while back, had a patient, so we're still on the truth serum here, okay? Needed some ankle x-rays. Hospital A, $380 plus the doctor's fee. Hospital B, about $140, and the doctor's fee was included. Again, double or more than double. So let's be clear. What I want you to understand is hospitals are necessary, but they are wildly expensive for things that you do. Diet and exercise, modestly, holding on to doing it will keep you out of some of these huge expenses that happen in hospitals. Enormous. And again, I'm only bringing up real life examples to you of success and how I know it can work. You all know I have 6 kids that we raised. My wife and I now jokingly say we were responsible for the first 20, and the next 20, if they keep making their own decisions, they're responsible for that. But for the first 20, let's just say, plus my wife and I, other than labor and delivery, orthodontics, and a couple of accident mishaps that just happen in life, that's it for our healthcare expenses go. No earaches that we had to take to the doctor. No infections that we had to go. No. 6 kids, all of us. Poquito, small amount of medical expenses. We would go to the hospital if we had to, but we didn't have to. And I will tell you, hundreds of thousands of dollars in save. Had the kids doing fresh air exercise stuff. There's pictures of them doing stretches when they were 8, 9, and 10. We always take pictures of the meals that we do. You should see the meals that are prepared, well balanced, not in a box. So that's my point here for you is that it can be done. You can do it. You just got to get rid of the excuses that dismiss you from doing it. So staying away from these hospital expenses that can result from this. And again, some of the stuff, just an MRI in somebody, and x-rays, a full set x-rays, lower back. Hospital charge her $3,000. Now, thankfully, I told her to call beforehand and get a price. She did, so the price is going to be like 90% less than that because she's going to pay out of pocket. But, those are stuff that I actually have to get because she has some problems. But I'm highlighting this for you because the healthcare costs are going through the roof, and there's lots of things you do that can offset that. I mean, if you've got to spend a little extra money on, let's say, a loaf of bread that's a sprouted grain loaf of bread, like Ezekiel 4.9 bread, consider that a copay. Just, rather put the copay back in your mouth than your pocket. That's better. So that's what I want to do for the New Year's resolution truth. Okay, I've got to take a break here, and we're going to continue on with the truth serum. I've got a little bit more to add to it, perceptions versus reality. We're going to cover that when we get back from the break. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Larry Radio Show.
We'll be right back with Dr. Larry.
Your WIKB weather is brought to you by
Wooden Nickel Pub and Grill on Gibb City Road. Opens 11 a.m. Wednesday through Monday. Closed Tuesdays. Burgers, cheese curds, sandwiches, cod baskets, appetizers, and swag. Call the Nickel. 265-5861 for takeout.
Here's your Iron River and surrounding area forecast. Cloudy with fog this afternoon with a high of 38. Winds out of the southeast around 5 miles per hour. Cloudy again tonight. Mixed precipitation likely. Lows around 28. 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight through tomorrow with another 1 to 3 inches Saturday through Saturday night. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on WIKB. Right now, 34.
This is Julia from Iron River, and you're listening to Dr. Larry Radio.
We're back with Dr. Larry.
Welcome back. Lenny's got me on some short breaks. Usually we have about 3 minutes. I get a sip of water, have a little sip of coffee here. So first show back, Lenny was like, you're going to talk a little bit more today. He didn't tell me this, but apparently that's what he wants me to do. Okay, truth. We say we want the truth, and the truth helps and heals. You've heard the saying, the truth shall set you free, but also the truth hurts. It does hurt. And understanding what truth is and being truthful and what it means is very important. And I'm telling you this because it ties directly into health and the healthcare decisions that you have to make. And it gets really far wide in as far as a schism goes. I mean, people ask me a lot of times, what do you think this will work, Dr. Larry? I mean, nowadays with the availability of information out there and the amount of stuff that hits you, you've got to sort out. I mean, even like if let's say a product that clamors for health and you want it to solve your sluggishness. You haven't handled the other stuff that I just told you about last break. You didn't get consistent with your diet and exercise. You're not consistent. You just buried that part of the truth. And so now if something hits your Facebook page and it's a formula for get this amount so you feel this way, just fill in the blank. I get asked those questions. But there's 5-star reviews, Dr. Larry. Okay, then how come these products are not lasting? Why is it that they recycle themselves over and over again and they change formulas? How come that formula isn't the same as it was 25 years ago? It's because it's perceived truth. It seems truthful at the moment. And so that's why I want to get a little bit deeper right now. So setting the premise again for 2026 here for you. It's kind of why I want to do this show, hit the New Year's res stuff right at the forefront. But feelings versus facts. This is one thing that I'm pretty much a big stickler on too, to help you out. Part of the premise of the show is exactly that too, getting past feelings and getting into facts. Okay, let's define what a feeling is. That's an emotional state or reaction. A fact is a thing that is known or proved to be true. So there we're right back to the truth again. So if we feel or have an emotion about something, while that emotion is real, it doesn't conclude that emotion equals facts or a judgment of truth or if it's right. Hurt feelings, like I said, are the easiest way to assume that you're right and someone else is wrong. However, just because your feelings got hurt or some of these issues does not mean necessarily what caused the hurt was because of an actual wrongdoing. So it could be, but not always. Now, the point is feelings are feelings, but if those are used as to generate a judgment and exclude facts and proper context, then those feelings are misapplied. Okay? So it's a little cut and dry. And the reality of this is this is where problems start to really exist as far as healthcare goes. And that dives into this next piece, which is perception versus reality. So yes, this is conceptual, what I'm giving you in nature, but I'm also planting seeds for you because that is historically where I go with my shows and with patients and where I try to aim at when you come in with stuff. And the reason why I'm doing this show is because this stuff comes up all the time. We got to sort out facts versus fiction. Now, one hit me right now as I'm talking to you. You don't like to take pills, medications, prescriptions, okay? But you go to your doctor and they go, we have to give you a pill or a prescription. You know they give pills. You know it. So then why go? If you don't, you tell your doctor, yeah, but I'm not going to take that. They're giving you what they know and they think could help you, right? Now, I'm just doing one side of the equation right now. So again, this is a lot to deal with and handle. But if you're talking like statins is another thing. People don't want to be on statins, but they're on them. Or they're concerned if they're not on what could happen. I mean, and it keeps going. Should they have a test or not a test? Or what does this test mean? Again, this is all ties in together here, but you've got to understand, you've got to get past your emotions and get to facts and reality. I've got a situation with a family member right now. Not inside her house, but close family member. Potentially has a cardiovascular problem, but feeling-wise, I'm not dead yet is the statement. Well, with 3 coronary arteries that are calcified and they're main ones, my statement is that, okay, that's fine. And seeing specialists and everybody's like, don't worry about it. Of course, you don't want to worry. But the reality is until we have a flow rate, an angiogram on those coronary arteries, I don't care what anybody says. We don't know if this fact versus fiction, if those coronary arteries are going to be good or bad, if they're going to cause a heart attack the next day or not. So again, perception versus reality. Let me define this for you too. Perception is an individual's subjective interpretation of reality, which is also can translate to their own truth, not objective. You've got to get this logged in here because, as you know, things are starting 2026 as far as you're starting your diet plan, maybe you're starting your workout plan. You don't want to fail. Maybe you have an unknown health event coming up. Maybe you've got a doctor's visit coming up, and you've got to get to the truth of whatever it is if you're going that direction, or if you are trying to get yourself healthier, what's the truth there? Have you been successful the last 20 years doing this? Have you been successful the last 5 years? Were you successful last year? Do you start and give up your programs? Are you gaining more weight? Is your cholesterol going? I mean, again, so another interesting thing that comes up is patients will go to the doctor. They know they've been not adherent to any kind of diet or exercise plan. They go and get labs. Doctor says, everything looks good. You look great, lab-wise. A little high in the cholesterol, blood pressure's a little elevated, but overall, you're healthy. Okay, to a point, that's true, but you know that you don't eat that well. You know that you don't exercise that much. So truthfully, are you really doing what you're saying, and are those labs giving you the full truth? Of course not. That's why you can look perfect and somebody can develop some major heart problem like literally the following next day. So again, this is perception versus reality. Reality is the objective state, things as they exist. That's what I just was hitting the nail on the head on one example, and this is crucial. So you have perceived events that are shaped by a combination of your past experiences, your emotions, your biases, your assumptions, which are actually different than the objective reality of those issues. And you need to get past that perception and drill down the reality and get to the truth. No joke. Getting to the truth of somebody's problem when they come in to see me, whether it's a back problem, whether it's a headache, a vertigo, whatever it is, what I'm trying to do, and I'm really telling you what to do too for you, and I'm not asking you, I'm telling you to do, is get past perceptions, get past people's subjective truths, feelings, emotions, doctors included, and go, where can we find the objective answer? How can we do this? And the case examples are far and wide. When patients come in, I just had one, a guy come in with vertigo and had been checked out by cardiovascular. Everybody tells me he's, it's just standard vertigo, but he had an anomaly by his carotid arteries. And I looked at every part of his tests and scans and everything that he had, and everything was done as a still, static human being. Meaning, we turn, we tilt, we're dynamic creatures. So if all tests were normal while the person was sitting there, laying there, like in a coffin, basically getting scans and tests done, is that really reality? Or is that just a perceived reality? So I had his doctor do a dynamic test, because I did a dynamic test to find out if those arteries were working good. And it appears as though they're not, because we were looking for the truth on a case like this. So again, it gets really, really hard sometimes. I understand it, but I'm bringing this stuff up literally to plant the seed that you need to be truthful, and you need to find a truth as far as it goes with healthcare. And you start with diet and exercise. That's the umbrella. That's the January statement for you. That's your New Year's resolution, but just don't fail at that one. Now, the premise of my show, did you know? Because people ask me, well, Dr. Larry, how come, like for the nurses one, there was somebody asked me, why? She wasn't saying it in a negative way. She says, why would you want to do a show like that? Like, what does it do for you? I said, nothing really. Not for me. I mean, bring the nurses on and talk about a healthcare problem. How does that translate necessarily to me seeing patients in the chiropractic office? I mean, I guess we could call it a stretch because it's a local hospital, but I have a vested interest in something if there's some misapplied perceptions, false reality, or some kind of truth needs to come out, because I just do it all day long and I do it on the show. So that's why. And she goes, yeah, that makes sense. I understand why. So there's this built-in idea and platform as far as my shows go, because I guess moving forward, as I'm going to start building more shows for you. I got next week I'm coming up. We're going to wrap up this thing here, is what I want to deliver for you. And so now I'm framing this all in. I'm coming to the conclusion to set the vision for 2026 on the radio. And hopefully they pay the phone bill. I had to be a corporate oversight. They're really professional people. I've met them. So it's kind of fun. We've all messed up. I forgot to pay a bill. Okay, I'll throw myself on the bus. Oh, I forgot to pay that one. Okay, so the premise of the show is to deliver and or find the absolute truth. And it's not cliche. Listen to some of the show topics that I've built around so I can drill down truth for you. It's not perceived truth, but real truth. I mean, I did a show on codes. Do you know the coded time with your doctor? I mean, do you know what your insurance will really pay and what your doctor can really give you when you go see them? There's a code for that. The insurance doesn't care what's on your mind. They don't care that you took time out of your day. If you really you usually take about a half day out of your day to go see a doctor. Because let's say you have a morning appointment, you got to get off work. If you're not retired, if you are retired, you got to get up, get to the appointment. It's like a half day commitment roughly. So you get there and the coded time for your visit starts. Beyond that, that's it. And that's just a small fragment of time. So, again, coded time. That's why I do these shows. You understand what that means as far as perceptions versus reality. Medications, I'll go through stuff like that. Brought on Dr. Tresser to talk about a botched knee, and he opened up about partial knee replacements, how bad they are. They got to be so precise. You got to be careful. I mean, so truthful stuff is very important as far as it goes, and that is the premise of my whole show for you, is to do that for you, so therefore you can take these nuggets and walk away from them. I get 50 shows roughly per year with you. That's it. I can't do this daily, and nor can you necessarily retain everything that I talk about even on a weekly basis, but usually you can walk away with one or 2 points that I'm giving you right now based on thousands, tens of thousands of patient conversations, tens of thousands of different style problems that come in, and really a broken and tattered process sometimes when it goes to, here, another tangent. Have you tried to get into a primary care doctor's office right now? As a new patient. How about getting a call back? How good is that right now, getting a call back on something? I know you got the email portals and all that kind of stuff, but like if you scheduled something and you wanted to get into your primary care right now, it's getting stretched longer and longer and longer. And I'll tell you, I've talked to over the years, there's a little sense of burnout too coming from the provider side of things. People, it's getting to where the point. I talked to an anesthesiologist. He gave me this stat. I'm not sure. I didn't back it up. He seemed like kind of a stat guy, but he said like 390,000 medical professionals have left the profession over the last number of years. Right. So it's getting narrower, longer to get in. So your best truthful ammo is to get yourself healthy. That's basically what I'm saying. And don't get into the excuse. You know, I've gone over shows, going back to it. I got another minute here or so. Bone broth. I just was sipping some bone broth the other day. How many of you are still making bone broth or sipping bone broth or incorporating with your diet? I tell you, it's good for collagen. It's the best supplement you can get. I've done that show 3 times. How many of you are still sipping bone broth? I'm still sipping it. You should be too. So that's what I'm talking about. Keep these things in mind. Build them. Don't forget them. And we'll have a fun 2026 coming up as I prepare for more shows. Okay, upcoming announcements and our tip and trick of the week after the break. This is the Dr. Larry Radio Show.
Dr. Larry will be back in a moment.
An audiologist has extensive training preventing, diagnosing, and treating hearing and balance disorders. Research has shown people tend to underestimate the degree of their hearing loss. Rather than just selling hearing aids and fitting them, we try to look at the person and where he is as far as counseling and guidance on his hearing journey.
There's never been a better time to start hearing what you've been missing, and Lori LaFleur at Tri-County Communications will help you every step of the way on your journey to better hearing. Visit her office at 609 Central Avenue in Florence, Wisconsin. Give her a call at 715-528-4350 or find help online at TriCountyAudiology.com.
This is Judy Akins. John and I wanted to take a little time out during this busy time of year to thank all of you for making 2025 another fantastic year at Jensen Akins of Conover and 3 Lakes Docks and Lifts. From our family to yours, we want to wish all of our friends and neighbors a very happy and prosperous new year. We may be small, but we're wishing you big blessings for 2026.
This is Lois from Crystal Falls, and you're listening to Dr. Larry Radio.
Break's over. Time to get cracking once again with Dr. Larry.
Welcome back. All right. A couple of things before we wrap up the show and get to the weekly tip and trick. Here's a list of possible. I do say possible because some of them haven't happened yet. Most of them happen, but possibly some of them don't happen, but possibles. There was a couple I did last year where I said possible and it didn't quite happen. But that's why I like to tell you about possibilities, because they can happen sometimes. Sleep apnea is a serious sleep disorder where breathing repeatedly starts, often causing loud snoring, gasping, and poor sleep, leading to daytime fatigue, concentration issues, and increased health risks like high blood pressure. The most common type of sleep apnea is obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, and it happens when the throat muscles relax, block the airway. Central sleep apnea occurs when the brain fails to send a signal to the breathing muscles. So diagnosis, of course, involves a sleep study, and the treatments can range from lifestyle changes, there we go, and also, if needed, CPAP machines. Did you know that there is a new CPAP respiratory company in Iron River? Pass by it right on the way to the radio station. Total Respiratory, they've got locations across the nation. So Lars, who's working over there, and I just sent him from my office the first patient we're doing a workup on, who's already a CPAP user, but he reached out to me, and we want to bring this subject matter to you as far as what sleep apnea is. Now, of course, there are things you can Google and you can learn on your own, and we'll definitely get into the stuff that is kind of the cut and dry things. But what I'd like to do with Lars and Total Respiratory is get into kind of more of the nitty gritty stuff, CPAP, the machine, things that can really make it improve. How does the machine work? Case examples, stuff like that. So I don't have the show formulated yet, but one of the shows that we're going to have coming up is sleep apnea, and we're going to talk to Lars. And it could be off air too. I'm not quite sure yet. Again, I have none of this necessarily arranged. I'll give you their address too while I'm thinking about it. Total Respiratory is at 500 West Genesee Street, Suite A, Iron River, Michigan. The phone number, I'll give you their phone number. Get a pad and pencil or type it into your phone. 906-999, interesting, 8271. They also have a website, totalrespiratory.com. They've got CPAP and BiPAP supplies, nebulizers, cough assists, full oxygen concentrators, tanks. They're a full-fledged Total Respiratory right there, right here in Iron River. So stop by. If you have some questions, if you got a CPAP or you're getting a sleep study, talk to Lars and get over a cool name, by the way. It's one of my nicknames, by the way, in college. They call me Lars. Not anymore. It just kind of faded to him. So not Lars. Larry. Just Larry. Not Lawrence either. Just Larry. Queen City Running. As you heard me say, that they have 3 stores. Just say you heard this on my show, and you get automatically $20 off of their shoes. And they will fit you. They got their 7-step fit process. Who doesn't want an extra $20 off just for saying, I heard it on Dr. Larry? They got Houghton, Marquette, and Iron Mountain. Dr. Walker Flannery from OSMS is going to come back on the show. This one's going to be a live call-in. It'll be fun. So that means we'll patch him through the phone. And he's going to discuss his new hip navigation system. Bottom line is he's got the software, because I stopped by there fall time, said hi, and he was doing some patient charting. He's like, hey, take a look at this new software I'm using for hip replacements. Now, he does the anterior hip replacement, which most of you know is definitely the better way to go. Quicker recovery, etc., separation of muscles versus splitting the muscles. But he says, look at this software. It allows him to position the hip implant even better and digitize stuff, so therefore there's no offsets or shorts, as sometimes does happen with hip replacements. So it's more precise. He's going to go over that software. We'll get that arranged hopefully early this winter as well. And don't forget the Ask Dr. Larry link on WIKB.com. You can email your healthcare question to me. There's just a little form to fill out, and I can answer those questions. I'll respond back. If it's got something, I think it's got greater airworthy, I'll talk about it on air. I won't, of course, give out your name, so your privacy is maintained as far as that goes. But don't forget to check that out. And a final to my website, drlarryradio.com. Again, remember, this is the announcement side of things, so I'm just kind of puking the stuff out at you. You'll see out there is my latest updated show. There's also a link that you can tap into subscriptions for all my old shows if you want to hear some stuff. 7-day free trial. After that, there's a little small fee, $7.99 if you want to keep it going. But just a little thing I have out there for you. I have people kind of dip in, check it out. And it's just a tool for you to use too if you want to pause, rewind older shows I've done and listen to some things, and then you'll see all the topics there and what's on. I'm also on all the platforms. I don't have 100% of my shows on the platforms. I kind of like a splattering. So that means like Spotify, I'm on that now. It's been under a year. It's by topic, so awkwardly enough, it's a little harder to find me on those platforms, specifically because, outside of the area, if I'm doing something like stenosis, I don't have like a nationally known show yet. So it's by topic, so it's interesting because I'm getting downloads from all over the world and all over the United States, but it's literally by show topic. But I just want to throw that out for you as well, too. Okay, we got a minute. It's time for the weekly tip and trick. Tim, you head up to the broadcast booth. I'm heading out center stage for the demo. Oh, yeah. We're going to learn a simple self-test for a torn meniscus in the knee. This is a fun one.
Okay, Dr. Larry is looks like squats.
Yeah.
Like squats, both legs bending down.
Give you an easy one. If your knee clicks, pops, and causes some pain, or locks, you could have a torn meniscus. It's an easy one, Tim. That was it. That's fun. Now we get to listen to tunes.
Well, I do want to say one thing, Dr. Larry, is I love your presentation today because holistic healing is where it's at, exercise and diet, so you don't have to go to the doctor. Excellent.
Thanks, man.
And as I talk to people over the holidays, parties and such, come to find out, I said, are you listening to Dr. Larry on WIKB? And they said, well, I'm already a patient of Dr. Larry. Many people, and they love you.
Aww.
Yeah, and it's not because you're a good-looking doctor.
No, I said the kid's got all the looks. And the wife, man. That's why I do radio. I got a radio face.
It's because you solve health problems. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, and because they believe it, and they believe in you, and you're a good doctor.
I appreciate it, man. And it's a good little attaboy. It can be tough with people in pain all day long, so you got to kind of keep that thick skin going and help people out, but soften up when they need stuff from you. But appreciate the feedback. Love helping you out. I'm looking forward to the 2026 here. And, the truth. The truth shall set you free. Got some ideas, some other shows coming up here shortly. Don't know what those are exactly. They swirl around in my head. You know, hey, I've got to recalibrate too. I had a couple of weeks off from doing radio, so we started out a little rough, a little technical difficulty. Didn't have any commercials. Got to get some commercials back in. I talked to Lenny about that. Poor guy. He's been running around trying to figure out what's wrong with the phone. So it's, yeah. I like that little music there too. Maybe I should finish up with singing. No, that would make me want to leave. I have no singing voice whatsoever. So what do you do? Diet and exercise. By the way, this is like a plan. Hey, by the way, just FYI, a little announcement. Family announcement. My daughter Drake is hired by Envoy Airlines. She's going to be a flight attendant. She's got to go through the training first. That'll be fun. Pretty much when I tell patients that, they're like, oh, that's exciting for her. So she's going to start in about 10 days, the training. First one of the fam, I think. Daughter Keaton, she's enjoying Florida right now. Worked hard for 3 years, and so she's taking a little time off down in Florida, seeing some friends. It's fun. My boy Reed, you know, he's doing his electrician stuff. Tim will appreciate that from the electrical world. Engineer versus electrician, hands-on, it all kind of mixes up together there. Those are my family announcements, and that gives me 2 seconds to go. Folks, remember, you can listen to me live right here every week to learn how to achieve a better back and better health. Or if you're having a pain or problem, I'm here to help. My number, 906-875-3215. Have a good day, man, on the board, and I'll see you next week, everybody.